Hey everybody, today we will be working on going over the order of events in a story. So we'll be reading some passages and then identifying which events happened first. So let's just jump right in. The Abram kids were planning a surprise birthday party for their mom. They began by calling and inviting their family and friends to the party. They then ordered pizza and a cake. On the day of the party, Mr. Abram took Mrs. Abram shopping. While they were out, the kids decorated the house. At 6 p.m., Mom and Dad walked into the house. Everyone shouted, "Happy birthday!" What happened first? They ordered food or they decorated the house? So let's take a look back into this passage and see where they ordered food. Just skimming this, they first planned the birthday party and then they called and invited their family and friends. And then they ordered pizza and cake. So they ordered food here. And when did they decorate? If we keep on reading, we find that on the day of the party, when Mr. Abram took Mrs. Abram shopping, the kids decorated the house. So it looks like they ordered food first. All right, moving on to the next example. We have the butterfly spot is the most wonderful place in the park. As soon as I walk in, I notice how hot it is. Boy, butterflies sure love the heat. I then see butterflies of all colors, shapes, and sizes flying around. I even see butterflies resting on the ground, so I walk carefully. My biggest surprise comes at the end when a bright blue butterfly lands on my nose. What happened first? I see many butterflies or I feel the heat. All right, so let's look back at the passage and identify where these events happened. The butterfly spot is the most wonderful place in the park. As soon as I walk in, I notice how hot it is. So right away, they notice the heat. So that is going to be our first event of the story. And he then sees butterflies, implying that he felt the heat first. Right, so moving on once again. When Ria learned that her family was moving, she burst into tears. She loved her house, her school, and all her friends. Then, Ria's parents took her to see the new house. Ria loved it. The house had a big yard, and she would have her own bedroom. But she still wouldn't have any friends. Or would she? "Hello!" came a voice from the house next door. A girl about Ria's age was waving at her. Okay, so what happened first? We have a girl waved at Ria, or Ria saw the new house. So looking back at the story, she first was upset to be moving, and then she was able to see the new house, and that was exciting. But she was still concerned about not making friends until someone waved at her. So in the order of events, we can see that Ria saw the new house before she saw her neighbor. Grandmother and grandfather are visiting from Japan. At first, when we pick them up at the airport, grandmother looks sad. Grandfather tells us that the airline lost grandmother's suitcase. Father thinks a family dinner will make grandmother happy, so we go out to eat. But grandmother is still sad. Later that night, someone brings grandmother's suitcase. Finally, grandmother smiles as she pulls Japanese candy and other gifts from her suitcase. We all smile too. What happened first? We go to the airport or grandmother gets her suitcase? So let's just recount the story real quick. So we know that a big part of the story is that grandmother is sad because she forgot her suitcase. So based on that alone, and that they picked up grandmother at the airport, they would have to go to the airport and see her before she was able to get her suitcase returned to her. So we know that they go to the airport first. Right. For our next example, we have Gabe and his older brother love camping. They pack up the car early in the morning and set off. In just a few hours, they arrive at the campground. They choose a grassy spot near some trees for their tent. Quickly, they work together to put up the tent. Then they go on a short hike. Later that day, they start a campfire so they can make dinner. What happened first? Did they make a campfire or they pack up the car? I accidentally gave this one away a little early, um, but they do pack up the car first as they do that so that they can have all their belongings for the camping. All right, I hope that helped to go through some examples of ordering events within a story.